morning, fellow Toastmasters, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo is a major tequila celebration in the U.S. It's shocking, I know, but this day is more about drinking unholy tequila like there will be no tomorrow. If you're planning on celebrating, it's your lucky day. You will have the opportunity to be the smartest in the bar by dropping some knowledge on the history of tequila. It all started with the Aztecs. They would ferment the sap of agave to produce a beer-like drink that is known as pulque. Then, in the early 1400s, the Spanish invaded Mexico, and they destroyed a lot of history on ancient civilization. So the unknown, it's really unknown of how really tequila started, but common telling includes primitive mud stills. The Spaniards loved drinking brandy. And when they started running low on supply, they improvised with mud and agave to produce what is known today as mezcal. In the mid-1600s, the first large distillery was established in a town known today as Tequila in the state of Jalisco. In 1785, the Spanish banned pulque and mezcal. They wanted to promote importing wine from Spain, but in 1795, the Cuervo family was able to obtain the first license to produce mezcal, and it was followed by the Sauza family in 1873. And Don Zenobio Sauza was the one who was responsible for identifying the blue agave plant to make the best tequila. Now in the 1900s, that's when tequila really started getting popular during the Mexican Revolution War, and then finally the Americans had a good taste of tequila during the Mexican-American War, and it got most popular during the alcohol prohibition in the 1920s. Beautiful young Mexican girls would smuggle tequila in their stockings, and sometimes would get caught and other times wouldn't. They would do that from Mexico to the US. There was also an article that I read about a town in Oregon that they were gonna destroy 600 bottles of tequila. So the locals took their mugs and started scooping out the tequila from the gutters and drinking it until they were drunk. Also during this time, the Americans were going to TJ. There were so many local bars, and there was an owner by the name of Henry Madden who was responsible for doing a delicious mistake of the tequila daisy. A customer requested a gin daisy, and he accidentally grabbed the wrong bottle and poured tequila. The customer was delighted. He spread the word, and he added that all they needed to do was add the salt on the rim of the glass and change the name to Margarita, since that was the Spanish name for daisy. So in 1936, it was officially known as a Margarita. And in 1974, Mexico took ownership of the word tequila, which meant that only 5 regions in Mexico can officially call it tequila as long as the agave is grown in those regions. They're Nayarit, Jalisco, Michoacán, Guanajuato, and Tamaulipas. So all tequilas are mezcals, but not all mezcals are tequila. So that's just the difference between both. And now today, there's different kinds of tequilas. We have the silver, which is not aged. And I brought this so that everyone can see. There's the silver, which is not aged, it's clear. And then there's the reposado, which is only aged between 2 to 11 months. And the gold, I did not know the difference. It's a combination of silver and reposado. And then there's the añejo, which is aged between 1 to 3 years And the newest one is the Extra Añejo, which is aged longer than 3 years. And those bottles are really expensive. I was trying to buy one. The cheapest one was $50, and they can go over 100, 200, 300, even $1,000. It's insane. I just couldn't believe it. Now, if you're planning on celebrating, don't forget to take shots, and in between discuss the differences between mezcal and tequila. But if you're not gonna be taking shots like I will, then remember that margaritas were originally called tequila daisy.